Sup? Yeah, this be the shirt late, and hey, if you could hold my beer, I'm gonna just set that game thing up because for some reason it just decided to not do the thing that it's supposed to do. So give me a second. It should work. Just it's probably yeah, I'm probably gonna have to throw it in as a new source. Give me a second. Because I swear I had this perfectly ironed out and functional. Oh, see that? Let's put it into the games folder and this thing. Alright, there we go. There we go. Apologies for that. Oh yeah, where were we? Oh yeah, fishing stream. Yeah. We gonna be fishing the stream. Because I haven't done so in quite a while, so might as well, right? Just gotta twitch the rod just a bit, and get one of them fuckers to bite. Okay? Okay, come here. Come here, you little fucker. Oh. And this should be the best rod, so I don't know. Maybe the game physics were like, nah. Nah, chief, you ain't getting no fish. Which, that would be funny. But, just gotta tie around the little shit. So you can see. And don't worry, I'm gonna open the can of pineapple too. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. To quote. Okay. Just got. Problem is that this game actually accounts for like strain put on the rod by the fish, and also resets the progress when I when I accidentally step into the water, which is less than ideal. But yeah, we gonna be fishing, so we do be fishing. All right, just put a bit more. Just put a bit more. All right. Oh yeah. All right, you little rascal. There we go. We got a trout. And because it's in pounds, I don't know what weight category that even is. Because I only do metric for the record. I am notoriously bad with non-metric stuff. Like, you know, measurements of length I can sort of make do with. That's inches. That's still within like the realm of reason, I suppose. And then there's like some batshit insane things like fluid ounces. What the hell are fluid ounces? Use liters, goddammit! But yeah. Admittedly, I had to delay this one by just a smidge. Courtesy of not being able to prep for thing itself in time. But yeah, anywho. What is this? Oh, that's a cool ass fishing spot. I'm gonna go there. Okay. There we go. We're on the fishing pier already, so might as well continue fishing. Sit on the chair. Oh no, the animation broke it. Oh no. Yeah. How have you been, fellas? Fish! Exactly. Exactly. This is the day of the fish. Well, yesterday I've been playing whatchamacallit. I've been playing Mobile Suit Gundam EX Review. And you know, it was fun. I was playing with my significant other, so it's like, yeah, this is how you do the toe beam. Taught her how to do the Hadoken motion, which was then fun to see how she tried in zone with the gun cannon. And then I got eaten because I can't do shit with the Gyad. You know, those were fun. And yeah, then I was like, oh shit, and stream time. To kind of make up for it, I've decided to start doing the fishing stream early. I mean, a bit earlier than I intended, but I mean, it's still delayed, admittedly, but you know, better late than never, yes, I might say. This should be a dock too, so might as well pop a boat out. Salute. Just gonna sell the animal skins. Oh, can I just... Oh yeah, I can just sell the stack. But I'm not gonna sell the fish because I wanna keep a good tally of how many I caught. If that makes any sense. Yeah, I just want a standard looking boat, rigid hull inflatable boat. That's the one. I could grab a paddle. Always nice to see, nice to have that one. Let's take it a bit downstream. See what I can fish up. Hi. Bye. Think, if I recall correctly, there was a sign that said Pallid Sturgeon somewhere over these spots, so... Oh, there we go. There should be one, so... I did admittedly, play a bit of, Far Cry 5 with a buddy of mine, so I don't have my, lever action on me at the moment. It's, you know... I tried to, grab something I don't usually use, but... Let's see. Just gonna clear things. use the primary as a DMR for some reason. Kinda clicks for me. Although I usually run the M14, I mean the M1A, with the M14 receiver, because for some reason, you know, Ubisoft did you know, a full modeling of the fire selector, but they didn't really bother to make it a select fire thing. Oh well. Oh, that do be Ubisoft. They're not particularly known for their diligence as far as that goes.
Hey, get your act together.
But well, that's just some traps. I mean, still worthwhile, you know. Any fish caught is a fish nicely caught. Yeah, I want to go towards the spot that apparently has some sturgeons. That don't look like a sturgeon. Yeah, well. That's odd. Okay, let's see. Let's aim at that bottle. That thing looked grey and pallid. Kind of like the game that we're catching here. Now sturgeons, those are big fucking fish. Real big ones. So, just gonna have to catch them. Yeah, this looks a lot more like something that's not a trap. Which, if I can only yank this fucker. Oh, there we go. That's a nice catch. Yeah, that's a sturgeon. Big hefty fish. But yeah, this stream we're just gonna fish. We're gonna fish max. That's why I called it the fishing stream. Although I'm not particularly efficient at it. Yeah, I'm gonna go check on the chat. Just gonna hook one. And yeah, funny that you mentioned EX review because I recently beat the arcade mode with the RX-78. Oh, congrats, dude! It's pretty cool. I mean, the RX-78 is basically the Shodo of EX review. I mean, just like Ryu, it has the Shoryuken, it has the Hadouken, which, you know, that's the beam rifle. There's the Tatsumaki Senpu Kriek, which is the, you know, the one where it steps back and then it just goes with the double saber wave. So yeah, it's a pretty fun Shodo at that. Or could be down the river. There's the Dead Man's River. I don't know why is it called the Dead Man's River. Might as well check that out. Well, there's a cult roadblock and a cult supply vehicle. Well, more like a former cult supply vehicle because these fuckers just done themselves beached. So
Here goes no.
oh, and a cult roadblock. Might as well, you know. It's a side quest thing, alright.
The cult's on the rail. You're
And you have
remember.
you have set the subs in this one to JP for some reason. I can definitely fix that. Portuguese. I mean, if it were set to Polish, that'd be funny. Because I would only understand like little bits.
What the fuck?
I think it would be funny. Because Polish is a very funny language. It's because if you're familiar with any sort of a Slavic language, they have their own specific quirks, right? But okay, I want to see what the car does. Okay, that's funny. He's just like, okay. Hey. Knife.
Everybody's got a hobby.
Anyways,
We're gonna survive this.
let us get back to the boat. You know,
Keep it for later.
we gonna listen to Colonel Willard from Apocalypse Now. Just stay on the boat. Yeah, I've got some notes too, so I can definitely make do with that. I can definitely get some rambles in, but step one, set a journey spot onwards to you know, let's see what going east will get us. It sounds like fun. And as promised, I will open my can of pineapple. It may be weird to some fellas that are new to the channel, but every once in a while, mostly when I do fishing streams, which I've done only like 5 times, so I think 5 times. See, that's why I named it Fishing Stream 5. I lost count because I think it was 5 in total that I did like fishing streams, but I'm not completely certain. And this can opener tool is being a bit of a prima donna. Alright, I moved this sucker up so that it lines up perfectly, and it still just manages to detach. So give it a second, and all right, it has been opened.
Weirdo, but it pays by following one.
Can of pineapple has been opened, and I dripped a bit of the pineapple juice onto the keyboard. So let me clean that up before it reaches anything vital. Yeah, thankfully that was just a few drops, because there. Anywho, I'm gonna take a sip. And with that, the fishing stream can properly begin. We got my chow, I've got my notes for them tangents. Unfortunately, my fucker of a teammate didn't. Oh, unfortunately, I've set the difficulty itself to silly, which means that if I get shot at, it's not gonna.
Because of what you did. Out here, the Dover spy place heard a lot of shots. Sounds like the cult finally found out about the arsenal they have in their bunker and went after it.
Yeah, I just forgot about my shotgun. Well, anywho, back to the ship we go. We shall sail.
Step on it. Let's go.
Not related news. There's a lot for me to ramble about. I don't know why I haven't perked up and said a word in a second. But yeah, even though admittedly the reason could be that I've been keeping myself busy. Of course, I've had my R&R time, but the one of them scripts for Skullheart. Yeah, that one's finished. So there's that. I think I got like half the audio. I still gotta trim that. Still gotta see whether I have to make retakes or not. And yeah, aside from that, I've been chipping away at that. And come to think of it, there's another like subject I can technically cover, since it's fairly interesting. I could probably touch on the extra type mobile suits in Senjo no Kizuna, because while I was trying to do my due diligence on that game, over time I managed to get my hands on a bunch of cool side stuff about it, so there should be that. Well, honestly, there's one thing that I wanted to kind of tangent about. Let me just pull down the volume just by a sliver. But I think that at this point I had discovered paddlefish sturgeon. I think I should head there and try and catch a bunch of these, a bunch of nearby fish. But anywho, what I intended to say was that wait. Yeah, what was I at? Yeah. Basically, I am of the opinion that I have, like from all the asses that I've got my hands on, there's definitely a bunch of stuff that I think would I think someone would find that useful. Definitely. The problem is, I don't really have much of a patience for like the various add-ons on like wikis. I think that making one of my own would be a hassle in terms of logistics, and I don't think I could be of much use if I was, contributing directly, but problem number 2 is that a bunch of the fan wikis are kind of paused, so there's a chance, like I know that Wikitubia is kind of stupid, with some of their stuff. Oh look, a paddlefish sturgeon. Cool ass looking fish. The coolest looking fish you can probably find in my neck of the woods is probably either some catfish or some pikes, and that's about it. It's one of the things that I'm kind of envious of when it comes to Yankee Bros, because they've got a shit ton of variety in terms of like river fish. You know, I'm admittedly a bit of a couch potato, so I don't really go out enough to know much about you know, quote unquote local wildlife, but I'm decently read up on those like handbooks and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure we don't get as much variety. And again, you know, considering the scale, that makes sense. But yeah, you know, when I eventually you know, try and get a place of my own, maybe, is, you know, having to move out is gonna be an inevitability. Maybe, you know, it kind of depends. But yeah, it will be somewhat inevitable when I get hitched and whatnot. So, when I do get that place of my own, I'm probably gonna try and contemplate on whether I should get a fishing license so that I can go fish. Because, yeah, the little fishing, like, little actual fishing experience that I've had was very fun. There was this little summer camp. And you could try and go fishing there. And it was really fucking cool. I got a big ass trout. And you probably heard of it. I think I didn't mention that one. My quote unquote great catch. And then one of the dudes who watches this channel is like, you know what? I'm gonna make the I will now proceed to pleasure myself with this fish thing. And that one. And of course, I just had to reply with the good old I did not have sexual relations with that fish. Oh, but anywho. On we go. Honestly, if anyone's like you're a wiki contributor or whatnot, or anybody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who you know, does wiki shit, I think that I have some stuff that could be of use. Just something that you know, I can pass on, but I cannot really do such a thing full time because I'm not really built for doing wiki stuff. Oh look, a skunk. Let's see. I have my problem solver. I don't know you, that's my purse. Anywho. Brief detour aside, because I mean, I've managed to scour the archives for stuff, and there's like, old promo posters for Senjo no Kizuna. And I've managed to clean up, well, not managed to clean up, I've managed to scrape all the Mobile Suit sprites from the Seed Remaster website. Hopefully they'll be of use to somebody. If I do get around to it, if I do manage to sort out this kind of the resource thing, I will absolutely let you know. One thing that kind of would suck would be if because there's some wikis that kind of they kind of went to shit. And I don't want that to happen to my work if I ever do, contribute. So there's that to consider, but yeah, they ain't. Nah. It's kind of the rationale why I don't feel like, doing something that direct yet. Although, kind of on the note of kind of contributing stuff, I think I just found myself a new summer project, technically. See, chat, I've had the manga Under the Gundam Double Fake for quite a while on Bookwalker. It's a great site, As much as I don't like, Gigak and the crew for being a bunch of pretentious oafs. Oaf is such a fun word. It's kind of like stooge, but with a bit less overused. Oh yeah, anywho. Them being villains aside, I think that, one of the things they showed, the Bookwalker thing, that was a good call, cause I got a bunch of, like, Gundam manga for a decent price. I got the entirety of, Crossbone. I mean, like, everything Crossbone related. Except for some of the, like, model books. I got one of the art books during the 30th anniversary sale. But aside from that, I got, I think, F90, the Silhouette Formula, and if I recall correctly, a bunch more. But most notable of them all is definitely the Double Fake. Now, that one is quite a niche manga. I mean, niche for Gundam standards. And, it's only been very recently that it got some attention. And, like, the model kit, which is unfortunately P Bandai, which means I can get my, my greasy little mitts on it. And of course it got a, it got a single suit moved to G Generation Eternal, which is probably something that the comment section will bring up, because it's like, that's one of the fun things. I did an overview on the whatchamacallit, on the Casval Gundam, right? And like a couple days later, like, I was editing, and when I was done editing that video, a couple days after that, the Red Gundam got like fully confirmed to be in Eternal. I mean, Castle Custom Gundam. Alright? Then, you know, I make a video on the Sekiro Gundam. Oh, that was... It was, I think, you know, far before the Castle Gundam. And then the moment it hit Eternal, there were people letting me know. Which, I mean, I do appreciate. I really do. I just find it funny that, you know, it wasn't that exact thing. But yeah, we got a bunch more fish. I can definitely eat some pineapple. This is some really good pineapple. I've been saving this canned pineapple since like, let me see, probably March. You know, I've been saving it up until I managed to pass all my stuff in terms of like college stuff. And now that I am free, I am now free to enjoy delicious, delicious pineapple. But yeah, and what I eventually intend to do is that I'm gonna try and scanlate that one and then cover that one in the video. That would be awesome. You know, that's something I want to do. Anyway, I'm just gonna check what was the ping that I have been given? No, nothing. I'm gonna try and take the boat around. And you know, see what can be caught over there. Maybe I can catch some basses and kick some asses. Okay, location discovered, dock. And I could go liberate that segment, why not? But first I'll have some detour for the fish. The fish is our top priority. To fish or not to fish? That is the question.
Get this thing in gear.
I've also managed to catch up on the most recent episode of G-Quack all the way back in on like maybe Wednesday. That was when I watched it. That one was rather interesting. That one it went pretty much went balls to the wall with a bunch of stuff. Like we got to see Char pop up again. You know, he was for a while he was pretending to not be Char, and then he was like, "Have you boys and girls heard of a man by the name of Quattro Vagina? I sure haven't." And then and you know, and he's like, "Yep, I'm a Char. What of it?" And of course we had a cameo from good old Granddaddy Gundam, which is a thing that's always nice. Yeah, there was a lot of like interesting stuff. I know that, you know, to some degree it was member berries and spectacle because, well, what else can you do with a visual medium such as animation? You would want to make things nice to look at. So of course, it's bound to happen. You know, it would be. Oh, salmon. Where's the nearby salmon? Chinook salmon. We are now trying to trail that one. Okay, I mean that should be a good good fishing map. So yeah, onto the ship we go. Fishing spots revealed. Chinook salmon hard. Which one's the next one? That's the wild boar. Is there any new? No. There's like these small isles that I want to go see. And they look interesting. Maybe we'll catch something interesting there as well. Yeah, we definitely had some member berries, which, you know, some may call a bad thing, some may call a good thing. I kind of enjoyed them, although I kind of liked the. I also liked what it did for the plot itself. You know, it definitely took on a more breakneck tempo. So yeah, they're definitely making like good use of the time they've been given. It's admittedly one thing that I can definitely grant G-Quacks. Like, regardless of your opinion on it, it can definitely work with its time. There's just something that I'm kind of a fan of, that, you know, they know how to ration their minutes. You know, when you had you also kind of like when I'm probably gonna have to use Freeman as a point of comparison, because that's another thing that I watched recently. Well, recently, like a week and a half ago maybe. But oh, you may be able to catch some bass. Okay, let's go. But yeah, that one felt like it was very efficient with its episodes. It's not always that you have to be frugal with like how many minutes you get to dedicate to something. You know, sometimes you can make long things work. Sometimes you can make short things work. I think that, you know, G-Quacks, you know, it being short and sweet with a bunch of nods to the OG material kind of works for it. If anyone has seen like G40 or one of those specials that get released on anniversaries, like Gundam Perfect Mission, All That Gundam and whatnot, I think those in general are very good at like making minutes matter. They don't really drag on. They get to the point for the most part, which you know, kind of lends to what they are. I think that, you know, there's definitely a lot of value in brevity and making the best of the time you've been allotted in terms of a show, because you know sometimes if you don't drag something out too much, you can then fit more of the show into whatever you're making, more of the plot. I mean, let me go check on the chat. Hopefully, I have not been neglecting y'all. That would be that would be a bit of a cunt move on my part if I were to do that. Another fun thing that I've been getting up to was spreading the gospel of G-Savior. Mostly because, because there's a local hobby shop that sells Gunpla, and they kind of tried making a server that's pretty much, related to it, while also being a general Gunpla server. Well, Blammo server that's mostly Gunpla. But, I admittedly, I posted the Fat Char, because the Fat Char is funny. And one guy was like, "What is that? What the fuck is this? What is that from?" Of course, I pointed out the War for Earth video game. But then I, of course, had mentioned a certain Canadian movie by the name of G-Savior. It's just for shits and giggles, and since it's on the Internet Archive, I couldn't really, I didn't really have a, didn't really have to, walk on eggshells in regards to, like, the Yar Harlings, because, I mean, y'all know I do fully endorse piracy, but I also like to play nice when it comes to, like, people server rules, so, I was like, yeah, there's a copy of it on Internet Archive. So yeah, more people have been more people have been exposed to that trippy shit show. But I mean, it's still a fun one, so it is that. Yeah. Let's see. What else have I been getting up to? Been playing Duck Game, but I mean, what else can I say about Duck Game that has not been said already? It's a fun game where you play as Duck from the now defunct Adult Swim Games thing. Because it is very unfortunately known that Adult Swim is known for two things: hosting a shitload of cool things, such as, like, for example, Primal, or what was that one with, like, Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Yeah, that one. And a bunch of other stuff, but the people on the exact level are a bunch of window lickers who are not really known for being prudent with such IPs. And a lot of things have been taken from us before their time, including their game division, unfortunately. Now, fortunately, some of the devs have managed to kind of regain control of their IP, so at least some of it is available again. I mean, the Super House of Dead Ninjas is a great example. I liked that one. That's a very fun game. It's basically a roguelike where you go basically down a big tower, big ass tower. That's the one that's in that game is pretty big, but what you're basically doing is just fighting your way through the monsters and trying to get all the way down the bottom floor. I managed to do that on both the hard mode and the normal mode, but for some reason it didn't really show me the end and whatnot, so I mean the actual ending, so I might have to revisit that and try that again, because I remember that one being very fun. Westerada was, I mean, it was a cool idea, but it didn't really stick the landing. I mean, at least in my opinion. But their Flash game lineup, that one was very good. That's something I can't really deny. They had a bunch of cool stuff. Such as the Kung Fu, I think it's like Kung Fu Bionic Robot, Chainsaw Bionic Cyborg Gorilla or something like that. It was this like platformer where you had a gorilla that had like chainsaws for arms, and it had a pogo stick in place of legs. That one was a very fun game. I did enjoy that one. Unfortunately, the Flash emulation is coming back, so I'm hoping that at some point stuff like that is gonna make a comeback. That would be great. That would be really good. Unfortunately, I do not have smoke bombs. But anywho, yeah, it's a shame that we don't get Flash no more. Although back to the stream, going back to the stream, I guess we shall try and liberate this spot. That we have a spot, because this is a fishing spot, so of course we have to what I'm... Okay, well, means more for me. Hey, Fokker. Bonk. Okay, north side, good. Because I get to get up to some shenanigans while I'm at it. Okay, there's zombie people. Okay. It's a good one. Throw out another one. And let's get these doofuses. Okay, go into the fire, yes! Okay, that works too. Anywho. Anywho. Hopefully I have not been too quiet. Admittedly, I've been a bit winded since I had to run some errands early. But I'm not tired per se, so don't you worry. I'm not gonna rob you of a fishing stream due to a little bit of fatigue, right? That would be rather silly of me. So let's grab a rod and fish on. I wanna dig into that pineapple. Yeah, I'm gonna leave some for you too. Don't worry. Of course, I cannot, magically teleport a can of fruit to your location. So I guess you're gonna have to play with the bit instead. Play alongside the bit, I guess. Oh no! I hope this don't mean another forced story thing, cause I don't want to do story thing. I want to fish. I want to fish. Let me fish. Fishing is fun. And fish we shall go. Could be more stuff, more interesting stuff downstream, right? Not sure if I'm going upstream or downstream, because this thing doesn't really have stuff flowing, but that doesn't really matter, honestly, so let's just hightail it out there and hope for the best. There's some interesting lights on those hills. A bit more rocks. Although the duck game tangent from earlier, I think that that's something I can turn into a tangent, because I think that a while ago, and by a while I mean like, over a year. It must have been like long enough for me to not remember how long ago it was, but some time ago, right? I've watched I had watched a bit of a documentary on like kind of the state of the competitive scene of a game by the name of Smash Bros. Now, it was one of those things that can't really be mentioned without a mention of the near constant Nintendo shenanigans. Because, you know, Nintendo's gonna Nintendo. They're gonna be rather annoying about their IP. But you know, one thing that has been stated by the initial like creators of the OG Smash was that it was not really meant to be a competitive thing. That's kind of why the items are a thing. Oh crap! Can't. But basically, point being was that, you know, at the time I did not really understand why did they not want it to be a more competitive thing. Because I mean, the mechanics that have been put in there definitely lend themselves to it, if you really think about it. But at the same time, you know, the problem with the stuff turning competitive is that you kind of kill the fun for some people. That's why the hero shooter is you know, fandom, not fandom, fuck, you know, that general sphere is in the state of disrepair it's in. Because everyone wanted to be Overwatch. Everyone wanted to kind of chase the big fad of trying to cater to esports. And if everything is an esport game and nothing else, I guess, I don't know, but you know, I know for a fact that if I see like MLG esports whatever bolted onto a game, I'm like, this is gonna be like a place where a bunch of stinky nonsense congregate, don't they? And more often than not, I am right. But you know, there's definitely a case for there's definitely cases where I guess in chasing the more competitive niche, fun gets optimized out of things, and sometimes by trying to make it uncompetitive, the fun gets optimized out too. Like for example with Smash Brawl, no one really cares for. Wait, which one was the one with the random slip? I think that was Brawl. See, it's been a while, so I don't remember. That's one of those cases where you know, the Initial Smash and the GameCube one, the Melee, there was I think in my opinion there was Nintendo's lightning in the bottle moment. And I don't think they really managed to recreate that. At least not to an extent the OG was, because I mean, like from the bits I've seen, it's definitely been something that it had a lot of potential, and you know, in its execution it was definitely definitely great, but you know, you look at Smash Ultimate, it's a fun party game. Like, I'm not not taking that away from it, but it's not. It's not really the Smash Smash. Then again, I would not know. I haven't really played much of it, but I know. The roster feels very tacked on. Kind of to capitalize on the big fad with all sorts of like big popular IPs. There's, I mean, like there's John Minecraft from the hit game Minecraft in there. I don't want to hear nothing about it not being the case. And it, besides, it's on Switch, which is an awful fucking console. Like, I'm not gonna knock the exclusives for Switch because they're really good, such as Breath of the Wild and the other thing, the one with the building thing. What was the name of that sequel? I'm sorry, I keep blanking on the name. But yeah, that one. Also, the Xenoblade stuff. That one's also stuck on Switch. And I mean, I would not have anything against like something being on a console. Just give me a PC port too, goddammit. I don't wanna deal with joysticks playing Kansai Dorito when I wanna, play video on it. But that's a me thing. Oh well. Oh, another thing has been that's been on my radar was there's been some interesting tuba stuff. Like I don't really keep up, quote unquote, with the VTubing as much. I mean, I do like the Holo Live lineup. That yeah. Those are generally fun. Although of those I generally just stick to watching clips. I do watch Kason because she does Gunpla stuff and that one's fun. But I'm not too hardcore into stuff. Although again, I don't really have a bad thing to say about that bunch. But even as a casual like me, I guess I have been taught kind of the rule of thumb at Niji is bad news, and bad news it is. I've been way too late on the news with like the Doki thing, but I've heard of that one, heard of a bunch of stuff, and now with the new termination, because apparently like they kind of force graduated one of their talents, I think, for like a fairly asinine reason. Like, wow, someone's been edgy and on their own time privately. Then some cunt leaks it. Well, okay, well, I don't think someone should lose their livelihood over that. But then again, that's Niji for you. Niji sisters keep, are called what they are. Is who the hell would stick with that shitbag company if that's the case? But oh well. Well, yeah, from the little that I had seen, I do find it funny that, you know, someone says something, that spicy on their own time, just in their own private bubble, instantly eaten. But, apparently at the same time, the Niji brass have been, sheltering a bunch of sleazebacks. So, it do be a funny double standard. Well, yeah. There's been that. There's been there's been some weirdo insane person that, that was... I mean, my money's on, them being groomed by a bunch of glowies, because that's what always happens. But yeah, he had this glowy plan trying to, implicate the rabbit. The Pipper. By doing the same thing the one felon on the Kiwi Island did. Where he, I guess for the sake of publicity, he just tried roping random people of prominence into his retarded crime by just mentioning them. I mean, I remember like back in, what was it, 2019? And that shit happened, and then you had like all sorts of like big media shitheads, trying to get on the case of like this like of this like Swede who was completely benign and just plays these games and this Vigia, just lives his life, touching grass, not doing anything stupid, just him trying to get a scalp just because he was mentioned by some criminal who hopefully, I mean, most of the time all the spree killers either kill themselves or get jailed. So I'm hoping that whoever did that fate of premeditated mass murder and and tried implicating like a bunch of randos into it just by mentioning them. I hope that fucker's either in dead or getting raped in jail. So I hate spray colors. They're not people. I think that Jim of the Medicare channel was rather smart in his commentary of a of a certain tragedy involving a certain armed lunatic by the name of Randy or whatever, who was just this a little retard out of nowhere. Was pretty much spoiled by everyone who was like in his circle, and just to throw a fucking tantrum, he had to he just had to have his little moment. He just had to stir shit and cause undue destruction. And you know, I had watched the documentary at the Jim of the Metacritic channel. And he was like, the big problem that that a bunch of the media had people usually perpetuate is that you shouldn't talk about. You should definitely you should absolutely denigrate the perpetrator of a crime in order to dissuade any copycats. You should, by all means, emphasize how much of a disgusting, subhuman piece of shit one has to be in order to, in order to drag a bunch of members of the general public into that stuff. But, it be how it be. Shit like that is an unfortunate inevitability, but fortunately can be contained via, by the simple method of, killing the perpetrator on sight. But, oh well. That was a stupid tangent, because I didn't really have much to say past that, aside from just preaching to the choir, so sorry. Sorry, I didn't really think that through. Oh yeah, where was I? Mentioning the one documentary on Smash tournaments. Well, for one, I think I kind of realized what was meant by not forcing a game to be completely about skill. Because, shocker, there's a bunch of games that I'm bad at. Some of these games I want to get better at, and some of these I don't find fun. But, if you're playing something like Mario Kart, right, or Kirby Air Ride, or a game like that, one thing that you'll definitely run into is just things like blue shells, and stuff like that. That will get you no matter what. Or just random silly stuff that gets yeeted by other players. And you're like, and you might be like, that is, you might be like, yeah, that's kind of bullshit that I got hit by that, or, no way the blue shells should be a thing, and, in technicality, I would initially agree, but, the problem is that, when you're trying to play stuff with your buddies, and either you or one of them is better at it than the rest, you're gonna run into a bit of a problem. 'Cause you gotta make sure you have people to play with. One of those problems is that if you're not careful, they might get frustrated. If they get frustrated, it's bad news for you. If you get somebody frustrated over a longer amount of time, you're gonna probably, lose their interest. And as such, when there's like the more casual party games, they make losing fun. Like, I mean, for the most part. Like, when I'm getting blown up by my own grenade in duck game, or catching one of them shells in Mario Kart Double Dash, or getting hit by something silly in Crash Team Racing, or that one Disney Abandonware game whose name I cannot really recall, which came out on PC. It's definitely goofy enough and slapstick enough to make the initial bout of frustration a bit more a bit more dulled, a bit lessened. It doesn't feel as bad to lose. It's not like League. Because League is something that you can point to that's like, yeah, this is not a game, this is an abusive relationship. Which, if you got a good bunch of people to play it with, maybe if you got buddies and they rope you into it, or you get roped into it, maybe that's fun. I don't know. I don't like MOBAs. I'm going by my personal experience, but those I don't like, mostly for because of the fact that it's feels very punishing to lose. Because when you lose a lane and the rest of your team ain't doing so good, you're gonna run into a problem. That problem being that if the enemy team snowballs, you're fucked. If nobody wants to surrender the round, you're fucked. If there's people who are very invested in winning, they're probably gonna start reeing at you, and it's not gonna be fun. So that ain't happening. But, at least it kind of serves as an example of what not to do. As much as I like GBO2, there's definitely cases where I think that there's stuff that they should definitely improve on. Because there's definitely stuff that's frustrating about the game. Like, if you're stuck with a bad team, or if you're not doing particularly good with a unit, you're stuck there for 8 minutes. And when you have slow match start time, slow overall turnover rate, you're gonna stay there for a while. That's not good. That doesn't feel good. It feels bad to lose, and it feels good to win, but it's not good enough to to keep you on it for a long amount of time. Unless you're on a winning streak. You know, when it turns around, you're not. It's not as fun. You know, like there's definitely cases where you know you're fighting tooth and nail, and you still either manage to win or either get close enough to where you're satisfied even with that loss. But there's, in my personal opinion, there's not much there in terms of I guess frustration mitigation. Like if it's a lopsided match, you're not gonna have a fun time. If you're also not gonna you're also not gonna get around to sorry, I I stammered myself. I managed to stammer through that sentence. Sorry, just that, it's not a way to make such a thing end early, It's not like, bam, you lost. Okay, no. It's like, oh no, this thing is not going where it should be, and if we don't course correct, it's not gonna change anytime soon. And then what happens is that what happened. Anyways, then what happens is that you're stuck in that lobby and you're not having a good time. But anywho, that's my guess for why there's some, I guess, anti-frustration measures implemented. I also have heard that there'll be some sort of like, I guess, skill-based. Well, some people were like, I guess skill-based matchmaking could do something about that. I have not really read too far into that, so I don't want to just knee-jerkedly be like, yeah, this is a good thing, or no, this is a bad thing. Because, in all honesty, I'm not sure. I don't know how to feel about it. Like if it's because there's definitely cases where I saw it implemented well. Now, I guess that could work, but again, I'm not sure, because I mean things like GBO2's ranking system. That thing is not really a good way to do that. Because here's what happens when you're doing rated in GBO2. All right, what happens is that you're gonna get a bunch of people who grind that thing up just so that they get more XP and they get more DP. I was one of those people. Just just pick your fights well. Go with your strong suit. do this stuff there, that stuff, that way. You're gonna have a good time. And I did manage to get pretty high up there with ranks, but I would not consider myself a very skilled player with like all the stuff. Like, if you give me a Rickdom, I'm not gonna have a good time. You're not gonna have a good time. My teammates are not gonna have a good time. You give me a machine gun thing and you don't give me a good front line, yeah, you're also not gonna have a good time. And again, I'm admittedly rusty, but I think I would still kind of qualify myself somewhere in kind of the median. But if you look at, like, even if you're like an A rank or higher, you're definitely gonna run into people who don't play particularly well. They've just been given that rank because they've been running matches persistently. So I think that if there is a way to implement like I guess skill-based matchmaking and whatnot, maybe that could work. I don't know. I just don't think that the current way it's handled is satisfactory, and I think it is also kind of a picture of what would the implementation be too. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of on the fence. The last thing certain games need is, I guess, I lean into the quote-unquote competitive scene, because sometimes it just kills any fun you can have. When you get a big name guy who just pops into the scene. Well, no, I don't mean pops into. I mean just is in the scene and is like, I don't like that this gun does that and that thing, Or maybe, there's somebody who optimizes that stuff, and you will get cases that aren't particularly well. Give me a second. I'm gonna try and find an eloquent way to explain this, but basically, sometimes there are cases with games that try too hard to kind of court the I guess more competitive base, where you're gonna get people who really like a certain playstyle, that want that playstyle to be the norm, or want a certain loadout to be the norm, and then they end up killing the fun. Or maybe maybe the movement system that that's in the game, yeah, it's what's the continuation that I was looking for? Yeah. Like, sometimes you get like a bunch of like Adderall junkies that are like, yes, give me more of this. And most people, that play the game of that series are like, oh heavens, no, don't do it. And of course, because the junkies themselves, they scream loud, it's gonna be the junkies' way. So I don't mean like junkies in like the drug way. I meant like, because people like to joke that that those who enjoy like the very like frantic, I guess, almost Battlefield gameplay of some of like the more speedier, frantic shooters, who, who are, which are technically supposed to be more slow and tactile, and just because some people can lean span too fast, they turned that game into that. There's definitely those cases. But hopefully I don't play those, so I don't have to deal with that. Like, I mean, I did briefly play whatchamacallits. I'm sorry, I forgot what the name of that one, Roblox. Wait, I think it was like Phantom Forces or something. I did briefly play that back in like early high school. And that one started having that problem where I was running around getting good angles, eating people with stuff, then getting eaten. Then at some point there started to be a bit of a meta with specific guns being very strong, and some things being a lot weaker. Alright. When you happen too much and too fast, you haven't had the chance to eat much of the pineapple. Sorry.
I know what's real and what's not. I swear I do. Watch your six. Hit that pedal, deputy. Not right now.
Another one bites the dust.
I'm in. Let's roll. You're good at this.
look of a practiced fisher. Suppose I'm just preaching to the choir, huh? You'd be a fool not to take advantage of the fishing round these parts. Having a moment just to yourself in all this craziness? Well, it's good for the soul. It's important not to lose sight of what is and isn't worth fighting for. Way I see it, the biggest problem these days all stem from the fact that most people don't stop and think before they act. Not every problem is solved with a bullet, you know. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. If you need any gear or bait or the like, I can set you up.
Oh, holy fuck! Holy fuck! Have I really been muted? God damn it! I'm sorry, chat. I just boomered it. I'm sorry. I am stupid. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyways, I'll see you later. Pure lad, admittedly ashamed, signing out.